Hello, this is your host Lakota Ravoc, and welcome back to the world of TIMBERBORN. We're starting our settlement back up at the beginning of a drought, and we've got a lot accomplished from the last session. We finished our large reservoir, we got our tiered food storage in, we got our second platform base for our industrial center. We got a nice little swimming area for the beavers so they can get that wet fur bonus and get a little relaxation in. And we fixed up our channel dam so that it's automated now and we don't ever have to worry about droughts or bad tides ever again. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and extend this power network so that it goes off the map farther out over here along the side. So we're going to draw the bad water down and make it turn a corner and increase the amount of power wheels that we have so we get more power. And then we're going to place the rest of our powered buildings up here so that we can generate better food and start making robots for our beavers to help take some of the load off. But the first thing I want to do is I want to fix up this dam real quick and put a couple of sluice gates near the bottom to let water out during these droughts. So let's go ahead and dismantle these two again. Unfortunately, that's going to let the water flow right now. Might flood a little bit. So let's open these sluice gates at the back all the way. That'll help draw some of that water out. And actually go a little farther down so we can utilize the entire amount of water, which is going to be helpful. And we'll put two sluice gates here at the bottom, add a bunch of levees, and then replace those two sluice gates at the top. And we're going to go back and change the top sluice gates so that they have a close above contamination of 2%. On the bottom sluice gates, they're going to close above a downstream depth, as well as close above the contamination of 2%. So that downstream depth is that little blue bar right there. We're going to drop that all the way down. So we're going to close it above a downstream depth of 1. As you can see, that blue bar is now halfway down between the two tiers of blocks on the side here. So once it goes below that first level, it'll let water out and fill it up a little bit. So when we have droughts like this, it'll keep the water in this channel flowing into the river if we have an extended drought. Now this one's only 6 days long, so it shouldn't be too difficult for us, but we want them getting working really fast. So we're going to prioritize this section and get them building on that as soon as possible. And it looks like these two beavers up here finally finished all that scrap metal. So we're going to go ahead and destroy those two jobs. And we're going to leave that staircase there, just in case we want to utilize this space. So I do have an idea to use this area in the center to fill it with water and put our Fountain of Joy monument there, because you need water for that. But it has a huge range, so it's going to be able to cover a lot of space for these beavers, including the houses. So what I'm thinking is we'll put a dirt excavator here and dig this down as far as it can go, get some of that dirt out, and save it for later, because we'll need it for mud baths. That's going to need gears, treated planks, and metal blocks. It's going to need a lot of them. So this is going to go on a lower priority on the build. It's also going to need 200 horsepower. So we're going to have to connect our power from here over to it. Shouldn't be a difficult task. Now I've shut off one of my observatories because they made so much science that I was able to unlock almost everything. All the landscaping tabs, storage, district management, housing, water, food, pretty much everything on the bar. I earned enough science I was even able to unlock the Earth Recultivator, which is a 20,000 science item. The only things I haven't been able to unlock are the metal platform 5x5, which takes 2,000 science, and the bad water rig, which takes 4,000 science. So I need to make 6,000 more science. I'm not in a rush to get these things. The bad water rig, I'm probably not even going to use because I want my bad water to keep flowing. And the 5x5 platform, I'll probably use where our dirt excavator is to hold up our Fountain of Joy. So another thing I want to do is I want to build a channel going across here to drop water into this little pool here at the top. So that's going to be something that's going to be later down the road. Probably use some sluice gates to keep it flowing. But we're going to try something different where we're going to make a pipe going across here using platforms, levees, overhangs, and impermeable floors. And it'll just bring a 1x1 column of water across, drop it in here into this big open area, and fill that up. The primary thing we need to do today is we need to fix this up so that we get more power. Let's go ahead and design this out real quick. It needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wide. So let's do 4 and a 3 there, going across, and then do a bunch of 6s going across like that. So our 6x1 overhangs will take the brunt of everything, and we're utilizing the other overhangs to support them. So we're making kind of a large bridge going across. So we need to set up a little structure to allow them to walk across all this and get over here. We can utilize our hanging platforms. And then we'll just one of these regular platforms over here. Put a staircase down. So now we're going to take out these floodgates because we're not going to need them anymore because the water's going to turn at a 90-degree angle. Now the hard part about this is during this whole time, water's going to be flowing like crazy. So we're going to have to keep this open for now. But temporarily, we're going to just make a couple bridges. And so we'll just do platforms because it's cheaper. So our power network will probably take a little bit of a hit, which is okay. But we're going to go all the way across, let the water flow, and then we'll dam these up at the end. Just like before, we're going to separate them to make channels. And then we're just going to repeat the process until we get just before the underground ruins. I think one more section should do it. Let's levy this all up here. All right, now we're going to need to make kind of a 90-degree turn here. Place our water wheels so we know exactly where we need to end up. And we're going to just make this our exit point right here. All right, so that's all laid out. Now all we need to do is we'll make power connectors going down this middle row and then just connect up to one of these power wheels over here, and the whole network will be connected to one length, one full length. Once we destroy these blocks right here, we'll be able to put 2 more power wheels in this section, and we should be golden. It looks like they made some good headway on fixing this dam up. So we have the bottom sluice gates already in, and they're about halfway done finishing the whole project. And we still have 3.5 days left to go. I see we have a good amount of dynamite already, so we're up to 100 units of dynamite. We're going to start excavating our large reservoir. We'll take off this small section here first. Now, since they finished collecting all that scrap metal, we have to get a couple of scrap metal beavers over on this last huge tower. The best way to do that is probably going around this underground ruins and getting them up over this land bridge. It'll be a long walk, but I think we'll put a hauling post over here to make things a little easier. We'll just tuck a hauling post right here underneath our new construction. This means we're probably going to have to get some more beavers. That means we'll probably have to build another apartment complex. Once they get that all built, it'll make it a lot easier to come over here and get some more scrap metal. So right here next to our tower, we're going to build a scrap metal underground pile. We will move this teeth grindstone. That'll give us plenty of storage for that. I should probably put this in a little higher priority so that way it gets built quickly and we can empty out this large pile over here. And I think it's high time we start building us some large tanks. And I think the best thing is going to be right up here on this little cliff overhanging city center. So we're going to need some platforms. Do this. Little platform there. Boom. That one can stay right there. We'll add another one right next to it. And these two will basically give us about, I think it's, I'm not doing calculations right, but about 80 times more water. So we'll be able to store quite a bit. And then let's go ahead and speed up our beavers, let them get to work. Unfortunately, we run out of metal blocks, so they won't be able to finish this last sluice gate, but we have one more day. Once that water starts flowing again, it's just going to come at the top. It's not an issue. And we'll start getting some more power from the bad water source and get those metal blocks in at the very end. I'm going to add a few more showers over here just to give them a little more comfort. And they've already started working on placing the dynamite just as our drought ends. So we should be able to get a little more water in here once they've got all that set up. Looks like this side's ready to go. And then we are going to add a staircase here and a staircase here. We're going to take this down another level. What I'm kind of doing is I'm grading the level so that we can get to a fully flat surface and take the whole thing down at once. Now the waters come back. They're getting those metal blocks in. One more to go, and we should have that final sluice gate up, and everything will be fully automated again. There we go. So now we have sluice gates at the top to control the contamination, and sluice gates at the bottom to control the amount of water going out so that we can keep water in our river during a drought. And it looks like taking out those floodgates hasn't negatively impacted us too much. So power is doing well. Now I have put our beavers on a 12-hour working schedule so that way they get a little more relaxation and they use a little less food and water. So things might go a little bit slower, but that's okay. Our beavers are a little happier because of it. So before we get too crazy, we're going to build a small apartment complex over here. That way beavers are getting the farmer monument bonus. So that'll get us another 15 beavers between the 6 in the double and 9 in the triple lodge. And we can keep this top open so we can add to it, getting a little more space for more beavers. But hopefully we shouldn't need too many more than that, because once we start building bots in the bot assembler, they should take over a lot of the day-to-day jobs because they work 24 hours without a problem. And I've already collected enough science that I can unlock this 5x5 metal platform. The only thing left is the bad water rig, and I need 4,000 science for that. So I'm going to go ahead and destroy this other observatory because we're not going to really be using it right now. We don't need to get the science that fast. And we can use the resources. And it looks like they've already got the underground pile built, so they're putting scrap metal into there. Let's go ahead and lay out what we need on top of this platform. So for our industrial center, we're going to need some extra food items, including the grist mill. So put one there and one right here to connect the power up. You can see I have the power going right to the back of that first grist mill. First one will be wheat flour. The second one will be cattail flour. Next, we'll put in a centrifuge. We'll need that to create extract from the bad water, which fits perfectly right here. Next, we're going to build the refinery. I'm going to place that right here next to the centrifuge. This is something we're not going to have to utilize as much. We'll just make things as we need them. Switch the recipes. It makes either biofuel out of different things or catalysts. I'm going to put some power connections behind it. The last thing we're going to need is to build a bot factory. And that is going to go right on the end here. One reason is that it's going to be a tiered bot factory. And we're going to put a bot assembler at the very, very top. We can actually change this. We don't need those there. What we will do, place a power connector right here next to it. And then lay the groundworks for some stairs. And just work our way around. And now we have a bot assembly tower. Nice and compact, drawing power from one source. So one will build the chassis, one section will build the limbs, and one section will build the heads. And then they all get built inside the bot assembler. Let's get a little storage down for some of these items. And that should complete our industrial center. More than enough space for everything, as well as adding some extra storage for parts that are going to be created right there. And it looks like they've already started working on our new channel for the power. So once that gets all built, we'll be able to lay out the power network, connect it in, and effectively double to almost triple our output of power. And it looks like they also got the scavenger flags up. So we're going to prioritize those with the hauling post. We'll just drop that down to 4 beavers, and that way we won't have too many working there, and they'll be able to collect the resources for them. We're going to go ahead and also prioritize our new housing structure, so that way we get more beavers. We just had a bad tide start. It looks like everything is working as intended in the bad tide. There it is, draining it all out. Terrific. It looks like the barriers, our contamination barriers, have effectively taken care of most of the contamination, but we're going to have to probably put a couple more down. So let's get rid of these plants here and put a couple contamination barriers up here. That way it should stop the contaminations from spreading out this way where the contemplation spots are. Just because I have it unlocked, we're going to drop the mine in this underground ruins right here. But we're going to put that on a low priority for construction. We don't need it right away. And we'll change the recipe to scrap metal because we will not need science points. We're already at 3,000 science points, so a couple more days and we'll have the 4,000 we need, and we can destroy that other observatory. And the other thing I forgot to do is put these impermeable floors down on our new channel. So we're going to go ahead and drop those down now. And that way it's ready for the bad tide. We'll have to take out these levees here at the end when we have a drought so that there's no bad tide coming. Now, planning this out, I assumed that we wouldn't be able to go over the mine with our new power structure, but I'm not 100% sure. It looks like we could go over it, so let's give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, I'll just reload the save from this point. Well, that confirms it. Even though there's a little bit of clipping, it's just tall enough for this structure to go all the way across. So let's build this all the way and let the bad tide go off the edge over here instead. Get a little more power out of this.
A few moments later.
There we have it, our full-length power structure. So we've pretty much tripled to quadrupled the number of power wheels that we're going to have. But once it's all built and get it all connected, we're going to have a ton of power. We'll be able to see what that is at the end of all this. So we're going to prioritize the build, get this all taken care of as fast as possible. At this time, I just want to thank you for coming down and watching. Please make sure that you comment, leave a like, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel for future content. I greatly appreciate it. It'll help me, and it might help you with a little entertainment. Looks like they already got the new apartment structure built, so we've got 17 more beavers. We're up to a total of 67 with 50 adults and 17 children. We've got about 300 more signs to go before we can unlock the bad water rig, and we'll have everything completely unlocked, and we'll be able to destroy that observatory. So I'm going to let this run and let them build, but I'm going to do something different today. We're not going to put music down. I enjoy putting music with the builds and letting the time lapse go, but I'm not sure if it's a big response for you guys. So why don't you down in the comments tell me if you like the music that I put down for our time lapse builds, and let me know about that. I'm very curious about it. So I'm just going to let this run. I'm going to let them do their thing, and then we'll come back to it when it's all done. All right, we'll see you in a little while.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
And there we have it. Our new aqueduct channel with soon to be 26 power wheels. Now, I've done a few other things while they were building this. It took quite a while to build. First thing I did was I used some dynamite to blow this area out a little bit more, get some more water flowing. And then I added 2 new power wheels back here. So there's a total of 6 on each side, so 12 here. And with the 2 that are going to be going right here at the very end, next to the other power wheels, we're going to have 12 plus 26. That's going to be 38 power wheels. And if each one of them generates 90 to 100 horsepower apiece, that's going to be on average 3,400 to 3,800 horsepower. That's more than enough power for this structure. A few of the things I did, I added another layer here on top of this storage structure for paper. I added bakeries for maple pastries, cattail crackers, and bread. Added some extra storage for the maple syrup. I cleared out a layer of trees here in our gathering area. I put an extra farmhouse up on the little ridge here, overhanging as you can see. And I planted a lot of wheat to make our bread and our maple pastries. I paused construction on the dirt excavator because we needed all the metal blocks. Above that, I added dynamite for these 2 ridges here, these little plateaus that I really don't need, so I'm going to flatten this area out. Let's go ahead and detonate those now. All right, we got a nice big flat space here, so we can start putting our entertainment stuff up here, like the agora, and the carousel, and the dance hall. We've got plenty of space. And then we'll start laying out some mud pits in this area as well. So this will be the recreation area. I started digging out our reservoir, and I now have a large layer of triple dynamite. So we're going to drop this down even farther. Let's go ahead and detonate that as well. All right, now we got even more water storage. You can see the water level dropped dramatically, so it's going to start filling that up right now. And with this, we're going to increase our water pumping abilities by adding some large water pumps on the next session. But I'm going to keep dropping this down and getting a huge reservoir of water. In the new apartment complex, I added the brazier of bonding, so that gives extra happiness to our beavers on all the apartments. And then I added some structures behind, like the beaver statue, the scarecrow, and the shrubs so that they get the benefits of those as well. I also added an extra large tank down here in city center, which will be built eventually. And I added a 4th water pump, so that way we were able to get more water to our large water tanks above. I also added a couple extra contemplation spots as well as some hammocks. That way they had a little relaxation over here by a very, very nice like overhang. Then after they got all these built, I added all the power connections, so that way everything's ready to go. We just need to start destroying these levees and putting levees here, so that way we can block the water and make the flow go down this way. Now I am curious, if I don't block this off with levees, will water come this way as well as go down the channel to the right? Probably not, because it's not a lot of water. But I've also thought of putting just regular dams here, damming up this area so the water flows this way and blocks it so that it goes down the other channel. So that I've got 2 directions of water. I am curious in how the power wheels right here at the end are going to manage with the water going on a 90-degree angle. So something I may change, but I'll probably put levees here first. And then I paused the construction of the bot factory until everything was done because I need a ton of metal blocks to finish this all off. But now I'm going to get that working and I'm going to prioritize it because I want to get a lot of row beavers.
This is very uncomfortable for me. I don't know what to say.
Sorry, that was a really bad play on words. So I want to get a lot of robots out of this and start taking over jobs so that my beavers can start relaxing a little bit more and increase their quality of life. The only thing we have to do now is start destroying these blocks and building those last connections in the water wheels. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's take this one out and see what happens. Okay, so what's happening is I need to put an impermeable floor here because bad water is coming down into this area and my beavers are starting to go through it, which is not great. So let's get that in place right away. I wonder if I can build the impermeable floors underneath. I don't think I can. So this might cause some issues with the beavers getting sick, which is not great. All right, just in case, we're going to build forest hut over here for a little while. I'm going to put a little patch of dandelions right here. And then with our well-being, we're going to get the herbalist. And we're going to put an herbalist. I want to put him down here. Yeah, I'll put him down here next to it. Okay, so we'll put an herbalist right there. Maybe take some of these blueberries out. Yeah, let's take some of these blueberries out. Actually, we'll just put the dandelions there. We don't need this little spot. I want to use this for something else. These guys are taking these out very, very quickly. Let's go ahead and start planting those dandelions right here. And then I added a detailer right here for the time being next to the food storage. And as you can see, I kind of added my own little graphic, which is kind of cool. I haven't unlocked this yet. I haven't unpaused this because I wanted to build other things first. I'll probably shall wait to do this during a drought, but I don't know if I'll have a bad tide or a drought coming up next. It is a temporary inconvenience. Yeah, I already got 2 beavers unwell. Bunch of flooded I got a flooded building, blocked by bad water. Yeah. Didn't think that one out too clearly, did I? Hopefully we get a metal block in there very soon. But in the meantime, we got the mine built and they're harvesting scrap metal from that mine for us, because we emptied out the last of our scrap metal reserves that were on the map. We have a drought approaching. We are saved in 3 days. We'll be able to finish this construction. So let's fast forward to 3 days. All right, our drought has started. Let's hope they start building some things. Oh, I just thought of something. There's a drought. There's no power. Well, we can get everything prepped at least. In the meantime, we got the 4,000 science we needed to unlock that bad water rig. So let's go ahead and finish that. And that is everything unlocked, even though we'll probably never use it, because I want the bad water to flow. All right, our drought has ended. Hopefully we can get one of these metal blocks in and get this impermeable floor set. There we go. We got one in. I should stop that bad water from flowing out. We get the second one in. There we go. And apparently you can make impermeable floors and underneath the levees. So they should have just built those 2 in place. About to find out. Yes, they did. There's water flowing in there. We've got tons of logs, so it shouldn't take them long to build that water wheel. All right, that water wheel is in place. We're going to take these platforms out and we're going to put levees there. They're building those as quick as I put them down. We now have an impermeable floor in that spot. We have water wheels working, except for this last one. Not a complete loss. There it is, our new power network. It's going to take a little while for it to run efficiently because of the dam pieces at the end, but it should work. Which begs the question, if I put dam pieces where these levees are, will that work better? Putting 2 dam pieces here should increase the amount of water in the channel and allowing it to go down to the other end. Hopefully allowing this water wheel to work. Well, it just makes it stop short. All right, for the sake of the power network, I'm going to sacrifice this water wheel and put these levees back in place. All right, so that is 37 power wheels averaging between 90 to 120, 130 horsepower, giving us on average over 3,000 horsepower. And considering our demand at the moment is only about 1,400 horsepower, that's pretty good. We will need more. Once we get the dirt excavator going, that needs 200 horsepower. The carousel is going to need 400 horsepower. Thankfully, the mud pits don't need power anymore. They used to. Along with 250 for the bot assembler, 150 for each factory. That's 700 horsepower for that tower right there. So I think that will adequately serve our needs. Start unpausing all the rest of these construction pieces that need blocks. So I'm going to let this run, let them build the rest of the stuff that we put down today. And we will visit all this stuff again on the next one. So thank you for coming down. I really appreciate you. Please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification button for future videos, drop me a like, and also leave me a comment. This is going to be Lakota Ravoc signing off. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. What was that? You're welcome, buddy.